basically talk about sexual energy. Yes, we got to talk about sexual energy, baby, because I was a diehard Muslim. They don't teach you that stuff in Islam. Probably don't teach you that in Christianity. Though when I walked into African spirituality, when I married my husband, I walked into African spirituality because that's what he was a part of. He took me to Egypt, showed me who I really am as a goddess, and I've been on the I've been on the path ever since. Okay, and what I can say is when we came together, there was a lot of trauma in my husband's early childhood, and there was a lot of trauma in my childhood. My husband was a very functional alcoholic. Okay, he was a functional alcoholic, and he's told me that I can say these things. His spirit is right here. I ain't gonna never say nothing that's bad about my husband, but he wants me to tell the truth because he knows these stories can help other people, and he was here to heal his bloodline, and because of certain things, he left here doing part of the work, but not all of it. But yes, he was a very functional alcoholic, and when we were intimate, because I'm celibate until I'm married, and so me and him dated for almost 2 years before we married. It was like a year and a half before we married. And I was celibate the whole time. We never had sex, none of that. We would kiss, spend every day together, all that stuff. But I wasn't letting it go down. Okay, yeah. So I was 5 years celibate when I met him. I wasn't having it. And when we got married and we finally did have intimacy, he transferred all of his pain and all of his demons and everything, his alcoholism and all of that was transferred over to me. So I'm saying this to say, because I didn't drink, I didn't smoke or anything when I met my husband. And it seems like, I was running businesses. I was doing fashion shows. I was about to open up a second location because I had a salon and boutique and design studio, and I was about to open up a second location, and it was this and that and the other. My husband met me, creating, on the ball, creating that light, that inner light, just doing what it do. And when we had intimacy, I don't know why, but I would always feel drained, and then I would feel lazy where I wasn't lazy. I would feel different things. I would feel different things. And I didn't understand it until I started learning, until I started tapping into African spirituality and learning how even hugging someone can be an energy transfer. So let alone someone injecting their semen inside of you and you exchanging fluids. And so I didn't know what I started having alcohol cravings. I started thinking about things that I never thought about. I mean, come on. I mean, if you guys knew, it had been years that I had just been a business owner, running businesses, doing what I do, having fun, creating, it was a lot, that I was doing at the time that I met him, which was what attracted him to me. Because I was a go-getter. And after we started having sex, it was almost like he was sucking my light out of me. And it was because he hadn't healed from his inner child wounds and he had a lot of darkness inside of him. So I was exchanging my light for his darkness. And it was it was fun. Oh, it was fun. Baby, when they buried him, well, let me just put it this way. I would always tell my girlfriend after a couple of years after he passed, I would say that was some good penis that went in the dirt. That was not even cool. Because he was good when it came to that. It was amen. Hallelujah. But at the end of the day, the transferring of the energies wasn't it wasn't an even match. When two healed people are having intimacy, they're going to be transferring positive energy back and forth, which is going to, heighten the magic. Though I would feel the magic while we were intimate and in the act, though afterwards it felt like I was drained, or I started feeling like moments of depression, and my life was going good. I mean, he just purchased this beautiful home for us, and I'm out there planting my gardens, and I ended up doing a lot of my healing in our backyard too. Because it's funny, the house that he bought, it was just so much nature. We had every fruit tree you can imagine. We had everything, even grapes and cherries, let alone the oranges, apples, pears, and peaches. it was like a tropical paradise, and we had the big pool back there. So when I'm sitting in the backyard, I can look at the water, because water is really healing when you're watching water or you're sitting at a river. It was like spirit set that whole scene up for me to heal. Because when I married him, I acknowledged that I was still broken in a lot of areas. And when he was transferring that dark energy over to me, it woke up my trauma. And that's why I wrote the book, finished my book, Broken Roots, which is all about my early childhood trauma. Because as I was writing that book, I was healing as I was writing. And I was telling him he should do the same thing. But some of the stuff that he had went through, he wasn't willing to put on paper. And he was stifled. Even though he had the money, he had a closet full of clothes better than TD Jakes and Will Smith put together. I mean, everything quality, from the Louis Vuitton. This man, it was ridiculous. It used to piss me off, because as growing up, I didn't never buy no $1,500 shoes. And Armani jackets. I mean, this stuff is expensive. These white folks be capitalizing off of our ignorance. And that's what I looked at it as. The clothes he had in his closet, he could have had 2 mansions. And I used to tell him that you could have had 2 mansions. But baby, that's not the point. At the end of the day, he would purchase those things because it made him feel a certain way. Because he grew up, in a certain situation where there was lack. Even his parents, his biological parents, were not the ones who raised him. It was his grandmother. And I can imagine my mom walking out on me at the age of 7. That would have haunted me. I probably wouldn't even live this long, because that's my mama. And so when he told me the story of his mama, leaving him, and, his father, treating him bad, it was like he never had the support that he needed. And and then to be molested by a man and then have to process that as you grow. Yeah, that was a lot for my baby. That was a lot for my baby. And I'm just so glad that he was able to get into the spiritual realm, because one thing he had did was closed his heart. His heart was shut off. And I didn't mean to get on here and just start talking about him, but his heart was cut off. And when we ran into each other, I was there to open his heart chakra. That was my job. And as I said before, he had traveled his whole life, only been married once, and that was when he was 19 years old. He traveled all the way up into his 40s, dang near 50, and never married until he met me. And my job as his wife was to open his heart chakra. My husband fell in love with me within 6 months. So that heart chakra was blasted wide open. That heart chakra was blasted right open, okay? And so that is what he had to open in order to move on in his journey. And so, and these are the things that I've learned after he passed, because Spirit had to communicate to me some things. He had to communicate some things to me, but he said he had a very cold heart before he met me. And for some reason, I was able to soften that. Okay. And so, he did leave here, with progress. The progress had been made, though the real sticky stuff that he felt was embarrassing or that would attack his manhood or his masculinity, he wasn't talking about that. He wasn't doing it. You have to know that when you're with a sexual partner, you're taking on whatever they're going through. If they're a weed head, if they're alcoholic, if they're angry all the time, and don't be sleeping with a cheater, because now you sleeping with everybody that he's been cheating on you with, all their energy. And so whoever that person is intimate with, they're transferring that energy back and forth. And if you have a mate that's faithful, if he has dark energy, he's transferring that over to you. So it's not about just seeing somebody and saying, oh, he cute, and oh, this and oh, that. I don't even see why people even look at a person's money, because have your own. That's what's respectable, is that you have your own. Now, I know, and I was raised to know that a man is supposed to provide for me, though I'm not looking for that. I'm not looking for that. If you come across my path and and I fall in love with you and you're able to provide for me, good. But I can provide for myself very well through spirit. I'm not doing it by myself. This is all, I give all high fives to Mama Wata. I give all thanks to her, because I know she works inside of me. She's always doing a work inside of me. And so, but she wanted me to get on this video and let you guys know that stop sharing your bodies with just about everybody that you think is cute, or that is going to spend a little money on you, or is going to give you a few compliments. Yeah, you might have daddy issues. You might didn't have a father, so you're looking for this masculine energy. Though when you take on someone else's energy and then you wonder why you crazy wanting to break his windows and hunt him down, or why you trying to chase her down the street in your car, or cloning her phone so that you can see what she's doing. I had a person in my life that used to do that. Not the husband I'm speaking on, but there was a person in my life that used to do this. For some reason, because I guess because he was a cheater, or because other people had cheated on him, he thought that I was a cheater. I'm celibate. How am I a cheater? And why would I be celibate and then marry someone and then cheat on them? That doesn't make sense. It don't add up on any level. But at the end of the day, when you dealing with people who have trauma, that's the way they think. You could be the most beautiful star in the sky, honey, and they're only gonna see their trauma. You could be the most beautiful star in the sky, and they're only gonna see their trauma, and they're going to direct it at you. And so you got to make sure you're being intimate with people that are healed. You don't want to be being intimate with people that are on skid row, as they would call it. You don't want to, because a person can have a lot of money, fancy house, cars, but their sexual energy is on skid row, and it's flea market value. Okay, it's flea market sperm. Okay, it's nothing cosmic or galactic about it. Okay, so you need to know what kind of energy you're taking on when you're jumping in and out of bed with people. Because if you're going through an anxiety, depression, having suicidal thoughts, drinking and smoking and doing things that you normally wouldn't do, it's probably because that person shared their energy with you, took your light and walked off happy, and now you walking off feeling off like you're losing your mind. Okay? This is a real thing. Look it up. Anything I get on my channel and speak about, trust me, I have something to back it. You can Google it. Look up videos on sexual energy and transference of sexual energy. Baby, I'm not going to speak on nothing I don't know. And it's a blessing that I can actually identify what was happening now with my husband, because I didn't drink, but for some reason after a while I was craving a drink. I wanted some wine. No, I wanted the red wine. I started drinking red wine, and it was happening more towards the end before he passed, because I was taking on a lot of I was having the cravings throughout the marriage, but I wasn't using it. Though when he started going through his decline on Parkinson's, and when he started, treating me a certain way because he was angry about what he was going through. Yeah, I did. When I had a craving for a drink, oh yeah, I sure did take a drink. And I even, went out with my niece one time to get a tattoo, and ended up, drinking before I went and got me a little shot before uh, and I didn't let her see me do it, because nobody in my family does any type of drugs. They used to in the past, but now they're all Muslim and holy. And so nobody does drugs around the kids or drinking or nothing. So I hid from her in the bathroom at the tattoo place and drunk my little shot, and then went out there to get my tattoo done. When I got that tattoo, you guys, I didn't know that 2 shots would make me tipsy, because I don't drink. But I was so tipsy. It really made me tipsy. My niece said that I was flirting with people. She said I was flirting with people. She said I even flirted with her. Okay. And I don't have a gay bone in my body. But at the end of the day, it's a beautiful thing to be able to identify with that, because I didn't know what was happening to me. It was an energy transfer. My husband was a very functional alcoholic, meaning he would have money, houses, cars, all that stuff. But one thing, but one thing he had to do at the end of his day was drink. Very seldom will we go grocery shopping and we don't have just as much alcohol as we have groceries. Because that is what he did. Though when I married him, I knew nothing about energy transfer. So I was like, I don't drink. If that's what he want to do, that's what he want to do. I loved him. So all I'm here to do is take care of you. Morning, noon, and night. That's what I'm here to do. But for some reason, my whole world crashed. It was like my world was crashing and I was trying to hold it up. And I couldn't explain to him what was going on with me, because I didn't know at times. My husband was an amazing man. He was an excellent provider. He held on to me so tight, never letting me go. He kept his vows. Everything he promised me in those vows, he kept them. He kept them. I'm not having it any other way though. Because as far as I'm concerned, once you have intercourse with me, it's a wrap. You might as well consider yourself. Well, I ain't even gonna say that. Don't play. Let me just put it that way. Don't play. So basically he did what he honored everything he told me. And so then that is why Mama accepted him into those pearly gates. And he was able to come back and assist me and all of that because not only did he open his heart chakra, he seen the goddess in me and took good care of her. He raised me because I was Muslim when I met him. I was 100% Muslim when I met him. And he introduced me to African spirituality. He took me to Egypt to see who I used to be and introduced to me the powers that lie dormant within inside of me. He did that. End of the day, you guys, make sure whatever you're doing, that you're taking care of yourself mentally, spiritually, physically. Guys, look who's sleeping next to you. What are they exchanging? Take this moment right now and be honest with yourself. Do you feel that the sexual energy that you are exchanging with the person laying next to you today is a fair exchange? If you don't feel it's a fair exchange, then I suggest you start looking inside and making some changes. Because, baby, ain't nobody draining my juggler. And ever since my husband's been gone, I've been celibate. It's going on 3 years now that I've been celibate. And I am happy about it. I am ecstatic about it. Ain't nobody getting my light. My light is too light and bright. And whoever has intimacy with me is going to have that exact same light shining from within. Okay? It's a no-go. And because I'm healed, I can see brokenness from miles away. I can see toxic energy from a mile away. Okay? I'm an empath. So I feel energy even when I don't want to. So I'm going to go ahead and get off of here, you guys. I didn't mean to sound preachy or like your mama, but I'm here to tell you I'm speaking from experience. Okay? Respect yourself. Mind, body, and spirit. Because at the end of the day, no matter what they say, in each and every single way, I am royalty. You are royalty. We are royalty, family. And I shall see you in a minute. Ashe.